Hello, my bots. Since our dear swamp dweller, aka my little brother, is currently taking the YouTube horror community by storm, thought it was auspicious timing to take a look back at my first interview with him before he even hit 2K. Since I was not able to leave that interview up at that time because of unforeseen circumstances, I had to do a second interview recently. Let's take a look back at both and see how much our swamp dweller has grown since he started narrating actively in this community back in 2016.
Hello everyone! Here we are again in another stream with my usual buddies. Unfortunately, typical madman is not going to be able to be on here because he had ninjas to battle, so that happened. But yeah, we're here tonight with Duchess Dark, another fellow narrator.
Hello.
In the horror community, Mr. Southern Cannibal, who narrates true stories. And then we have a new friend this week. Whoa, what is going on? Hi, sorry, technical difficulties are shortly. Yeah, and Swamp Dweller, who is new to our little circle, and I'm going to be interviewing him today, so that should be exciting. Do you guys have any opening comments?
Well, Swamp Dweller. I was just talking to you on Twitter, so nice to vocally meet you.
Oh yeah, likewise. I was just sending nudes,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right then. So if you guys could please mute your mics for me, I would really appreciate it.
Muting it now.
Yes, except for Swamp Dweller, of course. All right then, Swamp Dweller. First of all, it was a pleasure collabing with you this past week, so thank you for inviting me on that. It was definitely different to do, a Wendigo story versus what I typically do. So that was kind of neat. So let's get started. Since you started the channel, what do you feel has been your biggest obstacle?
Honestly, just being consistent and continuing to upload, even through those down patches where you'll be doing really good on videos, and then you'll post something and nobody gives a shit about it. So it's trying to keep yourself motivated to keep going. Plus the podcast is also really hard to do weekly as I do it. Is to get new guests all the time and script it out within a 5-day span is really hard. So that's
I bet.
the biggest one.
I have no idea how the podcast world works. I've been curious about it, but can you tell us a little bit more about your podcast?
Well, I started it a little over a year ago, probably about a year and a half ago at this point, and it's pretty much just about all paranormal things, cryptid things, unknown creatures, stuff like that. It kind of really centers around Dogman in particular. But we have touched on all kinds of things such as demons, black-eyed kids, Bigfoot, lake monsters, all kinds of stuff we've talked about. But pretty much I just have researchers of these mysterious creatures or unknown creatures, whatever you want to call them, come in and talk about their research, and then I have eyewitnesses sometimes come on. Then other times I'll just be retelling stories, which eventually led into what I'm doing again now.
That sounds really neat. It's almost like it complements, what we do as a whole in the horror community for YouTube. Out of the people you've interviewed, and I think it's so cool that you interview, outside of just reading stories. Out of the people that you've interviewed, who's been the most interesting one, in your opinion?
Oh man, I can't say that because they're all close friends to me. So, I have
Fair enough.
I've got this Facebook group, and they're all in there, plus a bunch of viewers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna say Vic Cundiff because he was the first episode, and yeah, so why not? Got to pick number one.
Okay, that sounds about right. I mean, I think some of my first videos are probably some of my favorites. So you like to cover a lot of Wendigo cryptid stories, but which one would you say is your favorite creature?
Favorite creature? Oh man. Besides the obvious dogman obsession, um,
Yeah.
I I don't know. There's a lot of good ones out there. I'd probably say Wendigo, just because I do have so many Wendigo stories I've been doing. But I like Skinwalkers too. They're pretty good. Trying to think of some other obscure ones. I'm not trying to say the normal ones. I
The
like the
normal ones,
bunny.
you don't have to stick with the normal ones. I mean,
I've
just
been trying to
whatever
do
comes
like
to mind.
obscure Japanese ones and stuff like that, but like they're so few and far between to find good stories.
Yeah, it's true. What was it? You mentioned something about the bunny man when I was talking to you
Oh,
earlier.
okay,
What was that
okay. The
about?
bunny man, like I don't know if it's a creepy pasta or not, but it's like this stupid story that everybody used to tell around when I was young. And I think it was like the second or third thing I ever like narrated was the bunny man story. So it just goes on like this long rant and story with King Spook and a couple other friends of mine where we just kind of bullshit about how he used to love the bunny man. I don't know.
So is it a local thing or is
I
it just
think it's supposed to be from like New Jersey or something, but like I said, I'm from the South, man. I don't know. I've heard it like from Tennessee and all that kind of shit.
gotcha? Okay, I see. I personally never heard of it before, so when you brought it up earlier, it was a complete surprise. Um, okay, so who is your role model in all of this horror community thing that you're doing with the podcast and with your YouTube channel?
Okay, that's like a two-part. That's like a two answer.
It's a
I have
very
two answers
loaded
for that.
question. Yeah.
Podcast-wise, I probably wouldn't be on YouTube anymore if it wasn't for Vic Cundiff and Dogman Encounters. So he's probably the entire reason I have a channel. So podcast-wise, him, and then narration-wise, definitely Spook because dude's like my best friend. So he's the only reason I've got back into it. So I get discouraged a lot. So like I'm always quitting, and he's the one that's always kind of pushing me to not quit.
I see. Okay. How long have you known King Spook for?
Oh man, I love this story because it's such an awesome story. It's kind of just a weird backstory. Spook used to comment on my band's videos, like when we put up our new videos, through the Vivo and everything. And we broke up for like 2 years, and when we got back together, we noticed Spook was trying to take credit for us getting back together. Um, and then I just, hit him up one day, and because like he used to comment on his personal Facebook on our Facebook too, and he hit me up one day, and I had no idea he was King Spook for like 2 months after our friendship. Spook, I was like, oh shit. So I've known him for like a year or so now.
Oh,
So
wow. So
it's kind of
you
weird.
had a band. What kind of music did you guys play?
I try to keep like a lot of my past away from YouTube because I don't want like a lot of that stuff coming back to haunt me.
Okay, fair enough.
Um,
We could just move on then. So do you ever plan on doing a face reveal?
I mean, my face isn't really like hidden. Like at least for the podcast viewers, they know what I look like because a lot of them are on my personal Facebook. But I mean, I'm pretty anonymous, like on YouTube wise. I'm like my face isn't anywhere that people could find easily. So I mean, as far as a face reveal, maybe like whenever, honestly, people want it. It doesn't really matter to me.
I see. Okay. All right then. And where did your name come from? What made you choose Swamp Dweller?
Well, I mean, I was actually talking with Rainer earlier about this because he's writing an origin story for the name Swamp Dweller, and his like origin idea is way cooler than mine because like my thought was just like, well, I'm from the South and I have a podcast called Swamp Dog Chronicles, so might as well just be called Swamp Dweller. I don't know, but that was it pretty much.
I see. So I look forward to hearing that story that Rainer's doing for you then.
Oh, his is pretty cool. Like he's only sent me like 3 ideas, and I'm already just like ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's always ready to, help the narrators out and write their stories. He's very creative. As far as your avatar, what inspired it?
Well, it's kind of like a long-standing kind of inside thing, I guess, gimmick that I I've always portrayed is like I'm kind of like the Grim Reaper, kind of a dead guy, just kind of chilling. Because even in like real life, I'm really pale, skinny, tall. So I kind of just portray that kind of deathly kind of vibe, I guess. So I just
I
thought,
see.
why not have like a dead guy chilling with a hat? I don't know.
Okay, I see. Cool. I thought there's something around you though in the pictures that I've seen, or is that just supposed to be your hair?
Yeah, that's supposed to be my really outdated haircut.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that was one of the first things that I was curious about when you first reached out to me was your avatar. Just because it's terrifying yet kind of cute. um, and what do you think you will do once you reach 100,000 subscribers? Because I know that your channel has grown before. So, what do you think you do this time around?
I mean, I don't think I'll ever hit 100,000 subscribers just for what my channel is, but I mean, if I did, that would be like, I don't know. I really don't know what I would do. Probably just like cry or something.
Cry out of joy.
I don't know if it would be joy, it'd be depression. It's like, people actually care about this. Now I have to try.
Well, I mean, we care now.
I know
All the
it's the problem.
subscribers you have and all the people who listen to your podcast, I'm sure they care.
No, they're pretty mean. You see in the comments.
Wow, I don't think I've seen any mean comments on your videos, but maybe I
Check the
just
last
was.
podcast.
Oh my. Okay, I'll have to do that.
They were pretty funny. They're not hating on me personally, but it's just they're pretty relentless.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to do that. Have you had any crazy fan occurrences with your current channel or your podcast or your previous channel?
I mean, my previous channel, yeah, I had a lot of weird ones, but they were mainly like just like weird, creepy stalker Reddit people, which is like really creepy. I don't know. I stepped away from like creepy Reddit narrations for a long time, mainly just because of those weird people that like deep web hacking me or some shit. I don't know. It was creepy.
Wow, that's scary. I'm really glad I don't have any stalkers. Um, Actually, I'm fortunate enough to say that I think most of my friends don't have any stalkers on, their social media here. Oh, look, Unit is in the. Hi, Unit. Hi, Sinister. Hi, Phantom of Darkness. Ooh, hi, Lord of Terror. Oh, Lord of Terror has a question. There have been a lot of complaints recently on comments from viewers that too many narrators are doing the same stories for Reddit. Do you have any solutions for this potentially?
Well, I don't know. Like, it's such an oversaturated kind of thing, honestly, when it comes to Reddit, because that's pretty much where everybody gets their stuff, and that's not a bad thing. But what I personally try to do is have people, either email me their stuff or contact me personally. And a lot of the like Dogman stories and like more stories that have coming up are just personal ones shared with me by people from like from the podcast. It's kind of another up to having a podcast on the side because you're easier. You have like a whole nother audience outside of your, narration audience.
Yeah, and
So
it sounds like you definitely have a niche there, with just focusing mostly on the cryptids and the urban legend type creatures, um, versus the people who do strictly just creepy pasta or true stories. So I'm sure also, like you said, the podcast helps you because you have a following there. You're exposed to people that you may not even be exposed to in YouTube at all. So you can get some pretty amazing stories that way, I'm sure.
oh yeah, I've been really really lucky with the community I've somehow built. They're all super awesome, and like pretty much everybody has like invited me like on Facebook to like their like research groups and places. And all these groups are massive, honestly. They have like 20, 30,000 people in them. So that
Wow.
exposes all of my videos to like over probably 20 or 30 groups with, thousands of people in them. So that probably definitely attributes to the shows.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing because you have such a far reach beyond what most of us have here. So that's great. What are your plans for the future? Let's say this time around next year or next year around this time. What would you like to have accomplished?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, be able to transform the channel into what I'm envisioning it now, and I don't know, maybe finally getting that new podcast off the ground that me and Spook have been trying to do for a long time. That'd be pretty cool.
What's the focus of that new podcast, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it's more of we just kind of review like obscure horror movies in just the worst way.
Oh, that sounds like something I would want to listen to. Okay, awesome. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Okay, well, does anybody have any questions for Swamp Dweller here, guys?
Is that including us?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Well, like I know how your channel is centered around like supernatural, the supernatural topics, and I was gonna tell you like I think I already like said it in on Twitter, but like I love supernatural topics like Wendigos. Like, I mean, I'm like I'm obsessed with werewolves, and I'm not. I mean, I don't believe in it or anything, but I'm obsessed with that stuff. So if like I think like your channel, like I think it's awesome that you center it around like the supernatural stuff because that's something I'm personally really into. So I just think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, that means a lot to hear that. Like I said, I got
Yeah.
stories out like coming out of my ears with just all these people that share them with me. So,
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Like, that's awesome. Like what you do, like what you do on your channel. I don't see anyone doing what you're doing. Like, I see you sticking out, through, like, I mean, like me. I mean, I'm just a true scary story narrator. Like, I'm not trying to down myself, but you're doing something different, is where I'm getting at, and I think that's really cool.
yeah, that's
So yeah,
that's my goal, is to try to just be a little
yeah.
bit different.
Yeah, totally. I haven't done any, that's why I asked you if you would want to do a like a Skinwalker collab because like your channel centers around that, and I just thought it would be cool because that's like your area, and it'd be cool to have you on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have some stories
Yeah.
like I told you I can show you, and
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you that I think what you're doing is cool. So yeah, man.
yeah, thanks. It really means a lot, dude.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's great that you're still a part of the community, but you're not in an overly saturated area, I guess you could say. 'Cause
Yeah, I get where. Sorry, yeah, sorry, Mark. But you go.
it's okay. As people were pointing out, in the chat, it's just we hear a lot of the same things over and over again. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying that as a narrator, but I'm saying that as someone who started out as a listener, like most people here. It's just, yeah, to some extent, it's nice to hear the same stories out of a different voice because they all have a different interpretation of it, but it also reaches a point where it's just overdone,
Well, especially
Yeah.
if it's been out there for quite a while. I mean, if you're brand new to doing this and you're going to start picking stories without listening to anyone, I could see that happening. But sometimes there's a story like, remember we were talking about some of the stories that like Mr. Creepypasta did, and I didn't want to do them because he had already done them, and you said, well, you should do them anyway because for reasons we discussed, and then I did. And then literally one of the ones that I did of his, that same day, like within an hour, Creeps McPasta did the same one. And there's no way to know that someone's going to do the same
Yeah.
story that you're doing.
I mean, I can't speak for every narrator, but I'm not going to go spend hours looking through everybody's channel just to make sure they're not doing the same stories that I'm trying to do. Like that, I'm not going to do that. But like it's like for me, yeah, I want to be as original as possible, but every narrator has a different style to how they narrate. So if you do hear the story again, I mean, it's going to be different, and it's not going to be exactly the same. Like I've there's like multiple narrators that I watch myself that I've heard like people do the same stories, but it doesn't take it away from me. Like I still enjoy it regardless. But I don't know, like how you were saying, like the community is like really saturated now. Like that's for me. It's like I got into this like really late into the whole like community. I started in August, so I had zero expectations of like what was going to happen. I mean, I just wanted to try it out, and it's like even though it's like really saturated, like I I want to see the community to continue to grow. Like if more narrators start tomorrow, like I love that because I want the community to continue to get bigger and bigger. You know, I don't ever want it to see it die off or anything. So that's why like if I ever did get big, I would love to help out a bunch of smaller narrators because I want to see the community to just continue to grow and you know, I don't want it to ever die off. So yeah.
I have to
You know,
ask Weller.
I like seeing when somebody takes the same story and puts a different spin on it. So sometimes I like to listen to them from different people, even if it's the same story, to see what they do with it. Not just with their voice, but with what they do with the video too.
That's true. Everybody brings something new to the table. I was going to ask Swamp Dweller, though, because I keep seeing the question, what is the name of your podcast currently?
Oh, it is Swamp Dog Chronicles. Don't listen to anything from season 1, I beg you.
Okay, so no season 1, guys. Totally skip it. But yeah, Swamp Chronicles.
Is the link to that on your YouTube channel, or how do we get to that?
Yeah, just go to my YouTube channel and you'll see like 3 separate playlists right under the creature encounter videos. You'll see the season 1, season 2, and season 3 are all there. There's 10 episodes per season. They're very long though, guys.
Okay. And other than that, you could just find them through the Apple Store, correct?
I know they're not on there. I literally just put them on YouTube. I'm that lazy.
You just gave him an idea, though. You can make some
There
money
you go. Put them on iTunes.
99 cents. 99 cents an episode, buddy. There we go.
I mean, it could be free too, you know, but it's just nice to be able to download them from iTunes. And everybody who's on this stream right now is linked in the description, guys, of this video in case you guys wanted to check them out. What was it? I was going to ask something else. Oh, Swamp Dweller. So you've been around this community for a long time. Like, what do you think of the way that it's grown and changed?
I'm actually really happy with it. There's quite a few friends of mine that I started with that are really actually super big now. Like, you know, putting aside, you know, I think I told you guys the story of how I met King Spook earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I known like Let's Read since he had like 8 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like it's really cool to see like, you know, Let's Read put up there to almost 100,000. Same with like Darkness Prevails and stuff. Like I've known them since they had like, you know, just the bottom of the bottom, and then they just get so big out of nowhere, and it's really cool. And I like what a lot of channels are doing now. There's a lot more collaborations I see going, and not just between the same big, you know, narrators. A lot of bigger narrators are bringing the smaller people up, and I'm really enjoying seeing that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to make friends with all sorts of different people in the horror community, and, you know, some of them have like quite a few, you know, subscribers, and some of them have 5, and I'm always looking for people to collaborate with, no matter what size.
Yeah, I feel the same about like collaborations. Like I love doing collabs. I mean, the October killed me. I was doing like I did like so many collabs that month, so it was like insane. So after October, I wanted to just like chill for a bit, but I love doing collaborations. It's pretty fun.
I felt like I had an October hangover.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I agree.
It kicked my butt.
Yeah, that, you know, I think that, and I feel like, I don't know about everybody, but I feel like whenever you start off, when you start off narrating, you just want to collab with everybody because you're having so much fun when you first start off. Like when I first started off, I was doing collabs like crazy. Like the first couple of months, I was collabing with like a ton of people, and then I was like, I just want to chill for like a week. But I love doing collabs. Like they're really fun. And I agree. Like it's cool when you meet a big channel that will collab with you regardless of your sub count. That's the way it should be, in my opinion.
I agree. I think it should be based more on the quality of the channel.
Yeah, the quality of your content. Yeah.
And, you know, the effort that they exhibit in their channel, because
I think it's just fun. So I think the more that you're willing to do it, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So any other questions, guys, for Swamp Dweller while we have him here? You know, I have to say, Swamp Dweller, you're really talkative when we're on Twitter, like with everybody, but you're really quiet here.
Yeah, like I told you, it's kind of just how I am. Social media is like my thing.
Like you put him on stage and put a spotlight on him. Now talk.
Yeah, well, he's also used to being the interviewer, not the interviewee, because he interviews people too. So this is a little different for him. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, technically, back to the collab thing. I think my channel's technically like exclusively a collab channel because like I interview people.
It's pretty
Most
cool.
narrations have collabs in them. Like I think there's only like maybe one or two that's just me because I think I suck. So
Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to my interview with Swamp Dweller, round 2. We're gonna see how Mr. Swamp Troll over here, as I affectionately call him, has grown in the last. Let's see, Swamp. I think I interviewed you in October of 2016 last, right?
I think it was either December or January
Oh
because
my, was it December?
I started narrating the last month of November or the last week of November. So
Oh, so then it must have been December. Okay, that would make more sense.
probably December, I think. Yeah. So I think I met
Okay.
you guys shortly after that. So
Yeah. All right then. So we'll see how you've grown in the last few months here. 5 months, we're gonna say 5-6 months. Okay.
I think, yeah.
So Swamp, how do you do it? How do you upload every day?
I don't have an answer for that. Honestly, it's just motivation and doing it. And sometimes it sucks. Like I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes if you see me don't upload, that's probably because I honestly just could not get my ass up and to record. 'Cause sometimes it's hard because you get tired, especially doing it every day. Like I do 2 videos a day every day, so like it gets tiring sometimes. And most of my videos are usually between like 30 minutes and an hour. So it gets to a point where you're burnt out sometimes. But I guess I don't know how I do it is just to not let you guys down because like I know I do this for you guys at the end of the day. Like I love doing this and I love telling stories. It's something I've always just wanted to be a YouTuber, I guess. Like it didn't really matter what I was doing. If beauty vlogger, I don't care. Whatever it was, I just wanted to do YouTube. So the fact that I get to do YouTube is even more motivation because that's just something I wanted to do since I've found YouTube. So that's pretty much, what pushes
What
me.
keeps you going? That's great. I mean, the motivation is definitely there, as we've all seen. So that's amazing, man. Since I last interviewed you, how do you think your method and outlook on YouTube has changed?
I know how to use YouTube now.
You know how to use it. What do you mean?
I don't know if you guys have ever looked at my early videos. They're pretty awful. They're all like yes, the sound quality is bad, but when I say they're awful, I mean like they're like 9 minutes long. They're like Mr. Nightmare style, straight up, like 9 minutes long with like 10 stories in them, and they're like 2 sentences long. I'm like, God dang it! I didn't know what I was doing back then. Really, I thought I was just you record a bunch of random stuff, put it in a video, and that's how it happens. But I guess the biggest thing since then is I've come into I've grown into the Swamp Dweller character, I guess, because the Swamp Dweller character is just an attachment to myself. I don't put on a facade or a front or anything. It's not like Unit 522, for example. Like Unit 522 is the persona of Unit 522. So like that's his thing, For me, I don't really have a shtick like that. It's just kind of me, but at the same time, I kind of play a character called the Dweller in the background. Time to time is like if you ever hear my voice kind of like what Unit does, like alter it down, that's when I'm in that persona of the Dweller.
In that zone. Okay.
Yeah, but like I don't, that's just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I remember originally your logo looked a little bit like a scarecrow, and I absolutely loved it. It was so adorable. But I guess that transition from that scarecrow looking thing to this swamp dweller looking thing is also kind of like it symbolizes you growing into the swamp dweller character. So that's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So now that you've learned all of this, because I know that, you and I have had our conversations about what you know about YouTube, and man, you know a lot about YouTube. What do you want to get across to your fans through your videos and channel? Is there like a message you want to get across, or other than the fact that, Wendigos aren't cryptids?
Scarecrows aren't cryptids, guys.
Oh, that's what it is, skinwalkers.
whole rant about that last night on two. I think Vidif was there, like 2 to 3 hour stream and just ranting about it. But
Yeah, I tuned in for a bit too, and I was like, he is so hardcore about this. So is that what you want to get across with your channel, or is there another message?
That's one thing. I guess the most important thing, I don't have like any real underlying like, oh, well, to inspire people. That's not what I've ever been about. I don't want to like inspire people technically. I want to just, my goal since I can remember, whether it's with my comedy or anything I do outside of YouTube, it's just to make people smile. If I can put a smile on anybody's face with a scary story or make their day a little bit better, like in my comments when I see people like, oh, I wait every day after work, and when I see this makes my night better, and stuff like that. That makes it worth it for me. And that's what the only message I really want to get across to people is that the swamp dwellers, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow. I don't care where you come from, how old you are, if you can speak English or not. You're all welcome. It's a positive place, and positivity over negativity. That's all I ever really want to preach. I'm not really anybody who wants to, like I said, I don't want to inspire people. Like I want people to inspire themselves and to create by themselves and to do things they love. Um, I just don't feel like I don't want to have that responsibility being like, oh, well, people look up to me, blah, blah, blah. I like to think it as I don't have fans and I don't have subscribers. I have friends and family because fans don't support you. Strangers don't support you the way these people do. The Swamp Dwellers have supported me not only financially, but just the YouTube. Like we wouldn't be where we are, and I wouldn't be able to do this the way I do it if it wasn't for them. So that's I just want to make sure that they understand and get a message across that they are, that they are the channel, not me.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Swam. Wow. What do you think has helped you? How has helped your channel become successful in this short amount of time? I mean, obviously we've discussed your work ethic, but what do you think has helped make you successful?
Not being a dick, actually replying to people, not putting my subscriber count as a badge of honor. I mean, just look at who the people I work with, honestly, on a daily basis. None of them are even anywhere near where I am. And I'm not saying that as an ego way. I'm just saying that like most people I work with don't even have 1,000 subs. Like I could care less if you have subscribers. Like if I like you, I like you,
Yeah, I mean, you're still talking to me, and you like surpassed me so quickly, like in a day.
It just, the thing is, it's just, I think what sets me apart is that I am I guess you could say somewhat bigger channel at this point, and I still am the same exact person I was when I had 0 subs and when I was getting 0 views. Like
Yeah, I think we're gonna see that when we compare it to the other interview.
Honestly, I think I'm better at speaking now. I'm better at understanding what to do. I'm a little more seasoned now, so I understand a little bit better. Yeah, I think what sets my channel apart is mainly that I started off as the outsider. I was a podcaster who had this channel for a year before, who was interviewing, researchers and eyewitnesses of cryptids and whatnot. And once I was sent so many stories over the year of doing that, and I decided, these stories are sitting there going to waste. So I started narrating them. And, just with my personality, I think my personality alone is just what gives me an edge on anybody else. Because, I mean, you can find like Goodnight Goosebumps, but that's not Swamp Dweller. He doesn't have my personality. So, it's nothing bad on him, you know what I mean? But it's like, there's only one Swamp Dweller and there's only one Goodnight Goosebumps,
Yep, can't be Goose. Cannot be Goose, and you cannot be the swamp troll.
It's I think it's the personality that really sets the channel different.
Yeah, I can definitely say that your personality comes across through the channel, and I think it's very much a hallmark of what you do. So I have to agree with that. What do you think is the most unsettling story you've done?
And most unsettling story. I don't know. Honestly, most stories don't really scare me. Because the things I've seen in my own personal life, I'm not even talking about monsters, I'm just talking about people, stuff like that. Things I've experienced were way more scary than most of these stories. But I would say the one that hit me the hardest, that honestly did kind of creep me out and give me some chills and whatnot, was the one I did for Units video yesterday, or today actually, for one of the World War II stories where like the grandpa's dying on his deathbed and he's telling his grandson or son, I think it's his son, grandson, this war story from I think World War II, I think it was what it was. And they're posting their trying to searching a story for these Nazis, and they find this base in this bunker, and there's all these scientists trapped down there, and when they break it out, all these like fucking, or excuse my language, all these mutant kind of experiment things run out, and they're shooting at them, and it's crazy, man. I don't know, that story just kind of was like, oh man, because I've heard so many like conspiracy theories about stuff like that back in from the Nazi scientists and stuff, so I think that kind of resonated with me because I'm a history buff myself. So
Ooh, have you ever thought about starting a history channel?
not really. I always kind of felt like my channel could just kind of I don't know, I always thought my channel could just kind of be that in a sense, because I like to do like documentary videos time to time, or list videos, what other people call them, but I like to just kind of do them when I find something that I think people would like to learn a little bit more about.
Very interesting. Yeah, because I mean, I personally love channels like that. So if you ever do that, man, I would be so down to subscribe and promote. I just because I like you said, history fascinates me too. So that's interesting. Like I didn't know that about you before. And I mean, you and I talk outside of this. So even I'm getting to know you a little bit better here. What are your thoughts on the super chat, Swamp?
Honestly, I don't really care, I guess, in a sense. Like, it's everybody, it's your channel, it's your whatever you want to do, and if you have subscribers who would like to help your channel monetarily, then I have no real quarrels with it. I've used it recently myself when the whole ad thing happened, but personally, I'm just not a fan of donating. I feel bad for it. Like, I would rather have them buy shirts or something because I know they get something out of it. When it's like, you're just like, oh, here's $50. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do I do? Like, what do you want? Like, it's like, people are like, well, this is just for your videos and stuff. I'm like, but the videos are free. Everybody gets the videos. So, I don't know. I don't mind it really. If that helps you pay your bills at the end of the day, or that helps you keep your channel going. Especially for like channels that are like unboxing channels and stuff like that spend money to make their videos. I completely understand. For stuff like narrators, I still completely understand. Like I said, it's like everybody to their own. I don't really judge. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but I have used it in the past, so I can't really say anything bad on it. I don't know. I don't mind it.
Okay. Right then. Yeah, there's just so many differing views on that. But I mean, like you said, to each their own. Everybody has their own channel. So I think that's just what everyone's gonna do. It's just like, okay, well, I want to do this and I don't want to do that, no matter what YouTube comes out with. What made you choose to be a swamp dweller?
As boring as it is, I just live in a swamp. So I live
You love your swamp.
the swamps. They're smelly. They're hot. There's a lot. Everything can kill you. It's like Australia, but wetter and smellier. It's not bad. It's kind of boring, but it's whatever.
Okay, so you just chose where you lived, and you're like, hey, swamp dweller, I'm here. All right,
I was pretty much almost born and raised in the little swamp here, so I'm just here.
That's home?
For the most part, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. And why? Okay, so the first time I interviewed you, if I recall correctly, you had this more scarecrow-looking creature, and we talked about that then. But what helped you come up with a current design that you now have?
I wanted to be less cute, more menacing.
That's
I
so
think.
cute, though. But anyway.
I don't know. Like, I really liked that old scarecrow guy. I had him for a long, long time. Even way before I was doing narrations. I don't remember. I think Aaron Frost was who made that. I want to say. I don't know. But I've had it for quite a few years. Originally, it was going to be like a part of an album design for my music back in the day, and then it just never actually did that. And found a better design. I don't know. I just really like how it looks. I like the design. I think it encompasses what I was trying to push out better than the little scarecrow guy.
Cute little scarecrow.
A little better. I think just like when you think of a swamp dweller, when you look at the scarecrow and you look at this guy, or the current dweller, I think you would probably say I would think the current one is more swamp dwelling looking, because it was pretty much just put together as a swamp dwelling dead guy, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely brings across the whole swamp with, the way it looks, its body, and what's attached to it. So definitely get the swamp feel from it. Why the skull-looking face?
I don't know if there's really a particular reason for the skull face. I just thought it would be a little more to the mood that it's just a storyteller that some scary monster from the swamps. It's supposed to be all menacing and stuff that comes up. Originally, I was gonna have that just be a mask. It's come to the point to where I am happy that I think it should just be his entire skull. It's just to the point to where a monster comes out of the water, you think he's gonna kill you, but he's like, nah, bro, I'm just gonna tell you some stories about them dog men.
That's cool. I could see that happening. And I mean, I love your intro, man. Axeman did such a great job at it. Like, it really, that's one of the things that I feel also sets your channel aside is you have all these little extra details that really, really show, like your intro. It's amazing.
Oh, I love it. Axeman did great with it. Everybody should definitely check out Axeman if they want something like that. We got people like Southern Cannibal copying old Swampy over here, getting those intros. I really like Cannibals too. Cannibals is really awesome. I like it. I think it encompassed it. Axe did exactly what I asked him to do with it, and he killed it. Easiest guy to work with, animation wise. He's a great dude. I very much enjoy him. For the little things on the channel, I 100% think that's another thing that probably back to the other question sets me apart is because that's what I focus on. I focus on little have the greatest quality, and I'm not really amazing with. If I can add little like Easter eggs here and there, or little voice effects or something like that, those are things I like to do to try to audience more. Because like I said, I'm not a sound engineer or nothing, guys. I'm not great at what I'm doing. I really still don't know what I'm doing half the time, but I just
we can't all be Celestial with his sound engineering over there. So no, but sorry, go on.
Dark voices in the chat. This is my swamp. Yeah. I mean, the origin of the swamp, I came in, Shrek was there. I Shrek'd him, threw him out, and here we are. So,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that was my answer.
Oh, okay. What is your favorite story you've done? Or that you feel has resonated with you the most?
Favorite story I've done? Man. There's too many. I would say any viewer submission stories, because the fact that people will want to send me or trust me with it, whether it be a true story, they want to retype that out and relive that and allow me to share that with all of you guys. Those are my favorite. I can't think of one in particular because I honestly would just feel too bad putting one over the other. But I would say one that I had a lot of fun doing that a lot of people seem to enjoy was Plague of the Dogman. It was like 35 minutes of just straight chaos. It was dogmen attacking a farm and people having to go hunt it out and try to find it. And like I got ongoing parts to it. Like I've got updates to it. I just have not had the time to actually sit down and record another 35 to 45 minute update to this video. But I think that one would probably be the one that resonated with me the most, because like there was so much emotion in the story. When I talked to the guy who sent it to me, and I still talk to him almost at least once a week because he's going through a problem. And I just really feel for the guy and the family. So, because it's actually got to a point to where his wife and kids have left him and stuff because of what's out there. So,
oh my,
it's something like that it's really touched me. And like, it's like, I guess that would have to be the one that has hit me, or my favorite one.
Oh, gotcha. Because of the effect that it had on the entire family.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It brings a very real. I think it brings a very real sentiment to things like this, because a lot of time people are like, oh, there's crazy, they saw some random werewolf or something in the woods, I don't listen to them, throw them in a loony bin. But then when you actually see how it actually affects people, whether they hallucinate or not, look how it actually affected this man and his family.
Yeah, so, that is pretty intense.
That's the very real effects.
Oh yeah, it's always different. It's almost like to watch a movie and then to actually see it happen in real life are two different things. So there's definitely a more intense impact on the person listening. What are you most satisfied with when it comes to your channel?
Not a thing. I
what?
I'm always I am always in constant existential crisis about my channel. I am. Everybody who knows me knows I am never happy. I'm like, oh, I could have did way better on that, or I could have did way better on this, and like, I guess the thing I'm content with, I guess, is how my channel's set up. Like, I think it's easily manageable for everybody to find anything Swamp Dweller related. Videos I featured on, whether it's my cryptid stories or my paranormal stories or my Reddit stories, anything like that. I feel like everything's very easily laid out. I have playlists for pretty much everything, so I feel like the navigation of my channel is what I'm happy with. But when it comes to anything else, I'm like, could be better.
Okay, so I feel like I am opening up a Pandora's box by asking this next question, but what are you hoping to improve here in the near future?
Everything. Better new mics coming. I'm getting an NT1 because,
everybody's getting an NT1 now. It's also Celestial's fault.
I'm just doing it to bother Unit on it. I'm just kidding. No, it's a good mic. I've been trying it out at my friend's house recently. It's a really, really good mic. I like it way better than what I have now. It just I feel like it brings out my voice way more than some of the other mics I've been testing out. So it's easy to use. It's small. It's basic. I don't have to do. It's not really all that expensive. I mean, it's kind of pricey, but it's not like anything that's going to honestly put me, into depression or anything. I guess the biggest thing I really want to improve on the channel is the overall look and presence. I'm testing out a lot of stuff recently, like different kind of thumbnails, like basically going Horror Studio 1 on it, just throwing random pictures as thumbnails just to see, because I've also noticed recently, like, I put a lot of work into my thumbnails, and I've noticed that sometimes the thumbnails are what kills the video. I've had people say,
really?
I've had people say the thumbnails didn't make me want to watch it and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, all right, I'll just try doing what like all these other big channels do. I'm not even gonna try on my thumbnails. I'm gonna pull B Busta. I'm gonna use the same thumbnail for 8 videos straight. I'm just gonna.
Oh my!
No shade to B Busta.
Yeah, I have to agree though. Sometimes for me, as a subscriber, the thumbnail will kind of kill it for me. I'll be like, this looks ugly. As stupid and shallow as that sounds, but I'll be like, this looks ugly. I'll watch it later. And I'll probably forget. I'm not saying about your channel in particular. I'm just saying certain videos. I'm just like, this looks ugly. I don't know. It's just, there's something visually like. Sorry, go ahead.
My thumbnails are like super basic usually. It's like a wider background with a random PNG images and text. There you go. That's how you do it.
Yep. I mean, if that's what it takes, man, that's what it takes. What do you plan on doing with your silver play button?
Oh man, I was waiting for this question. When I saw that question,
dun dun dun.
I was like, oh man, I've not ever thought about that ever, because to this day, I don't think I'm gonna ever get a silver play button. Do I want one? Hell yes, I want one. It's just the ultimate validation that I can hang on my wall or give to my dad or my stepmom and be like, this is, I've did something with my life, so this is, I feel like it'll be more of a token and something to finally, show my parents at, 22 years of age almost, that I'm not a complete failure. So I think that's what I would do with it.
It's like validation that your hard work has paid off, basically.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're very proud of me right now. I don't think my parents have ever been proud like they are now. Like I said, I've done a lot of things in my life in my short years, but this is easily the best and most consistent thing I've ever done. So it's definitely not only helped me, like I tell people in the chats, but it's helped my family.
Oh wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that. I mean, I show up to your streams, but I don't think I've ever had you say that. But that's great. That makes me happy, Swamp. That makes me happy.
A lot of what I make from YouTube goes to my family. That's another thing people don't know. Like, I don't honestly, like, I don't even make all that much money on YouTube. People exaggerate what I do. Like, that's one thing that kind of is a pet peeve of mine that annoys me. I talked with a few friends recently about it, is everybody, like, when people talk about your channel, like they know your channel. Like, oh, well, Swamp's channel does this. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Stop saying that. I hate people overselling my channel, saying like, oh, he goes like 1,000 subs a day, stuff like that. I'm like, no, it doesn't really. It's actually a really slow growing channel. It's just consistent.
But that's what's important, slow and steady wins the race. Whereas, some channels may blow up to 2,000 subs overnight, and then the next day, like, YouTube takes away like half of them, So yeah.
I mean, taken half your subs, you're probably sub-botted, friends. If YouTube
Yeah.
takes views away from your videos, you probably view-botted, my friends. It's just I use a lot of this to help support my dad and my family, because my family is, unfortunately, we have a lot of medical issues. My dad's 55 years old, and he's still working full time in attics doing
Oh,
ACs, and
wow.
I hate it. I hate seeing that, so I try to help him out as much as I can. That's a big reason that I push so hard for this, because like I want to eventually. My main goal of the channel is to at least get my dad to retire. That's my.
Wow.
So I want to be able to take care of my family, and I want to be able to take care of myself, and obviously my amazing supportive family over there at the Swamp Dwellers.
Wow, you're such a kind person, Swamp. I mean, I already knew that, but I didn't know what like a huge impact making money on this was having on your entire family. That's just so commendable of you, man. That is incredibly commendable, and I'm just like in awe right now because too many people don't care about their families, and I could completely tell that you're being sincere right now. So props to you, man. Like I had so much respect for your work ethic before, and for the fact that you're willing to help out anybody in this community, but now like that I know that about your family, like you have so much, I have so much more respect for you than I already did. So, man, I wish I could give you like a hug right now.
A virtual hug is fine.
A virtual hug.
Yeah,
One day we will meet, my friend. One day we will meet.
it will happen. I'm sure one day I'll probably meet, maybe not Lord Terror, I don't know, but if I ever do go to the UK, probably. But I'm sure I'll meet everybody in this chat one day. I've already met Celeste, so that's one down. So
Yeah.
I could definitely see myself meeting Vidith and Goodnight Goosebumps and stuff. Like I would love to meet Goosebumps. Goose is like one of my favorite friends that I've met in this community.
Aw. Okay, so that was one of
After
my questions. If you had to choose two narrators that you haven't already met, who would you choose to meet in the next 12 months?
King Spook and Vidith 22. I known King Spook for years, way before I even knew he was a narrator. He was actually a fan of my band at the time, and nobody knows the guy like I do. That's why it's just unfortunate sometimes. But that guy I would love to meet. Been big help for me, and Vidith I would love to meet because I love Vidith. I've since the moment I met Vidith, he was one of the we clicked, and I don't click with people often like that. So I would really like to meet Vidith. I think that'd be really fun.
Oh, yeah, Vidith is so like easygoing that I feel like anybody could get along with Vidith. It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to feel like like their feelings are like or obviously like I would love to meet Cannibal and Goose and everybody else, but I think that'll happen in due time. But I guess if I had to pick two that if I would have to meet like tomorrow or something, it would probably be those two.
Would that be them? Okay, gotcha. Okay. So have you had any crazy fan occurrences?
Yeah, a lot. Unfortunately, a lot.
Ooh, do tell. Or I mean, if you don't mind sharing.
Most of them are just crazy kids. You know how some kids are super passionate and they don't. It's just more of like a spam thing. I don't think they understand. Sometimes it's like, hey man, give me a minute to reply, bro. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I think the craziest, I guess, quote unquote fan experience would be random. I don't know if it'll be a fan at that point, but random people striking down my videos for no reason, because I'm still dealing with that today. So I don't. I actually just had one yesterday, a video from months ago get struck down and taken down actually. So I was like, oh, what the fuck? So I'm still fighting to get that up, but anyways, yeah, I would say that random, I guess, quote unquote fans trying to strike me for some reason. I don't get it, but you know how it is, YouTube.
Yeah. Do you think that's been your biggest obstacle in the community? Like being part of this community?
Biggest obstacle being part of this community, in my personal sense, is other narrators. Has nothing to do with the strikes and stuff. It's the people who send the people to do the strikes. So it's I would say there's certain. I love the community. I'm not gonna say I love the community because I don't love the community. I love certain people in the community. There's a lot of people in the community I just personally don't like, and that I don't think are nice people, but the people that I do love, like Margbot, all of you guys in this chat, like I love that community. I wouldn't say I love the horror community in a whole, but I would say I love the community that I'm a part of. So
Oh, that's so sweet of you. And you know what? You touched on a good point, and I think I was talking about this at the very beginning of the stream when I was waiting. is, generally speaking, the community is so nice and so kind, but there are also people in the community who unfortunately are either in this for the wrong reasons, or they think that, you know, they're they're the shit, I guess, because they have this many subs, and it's very unfortunate. But generally, I do think the community is full of kind people. I have a lot of kind subscribers. I've met so many kind narrators through my interviews and just in general. But there are a few people that this community, I feel like, would be much, much better without. But yeah, I mean, I guess it comes with the territory, man.
That's just part of life. I was a touring musician for 8 years. It's the exact same way, but a lot more ruthless in music. As you guys can see, I am here currently, and I'm not touring anymore because of how ruthless it was and how I got my balls cut off many, many times in a row by people who you're supposed to trust. So
Yeah.
I have learned to who to trust and who not to trust, and how to trust and when to trust, and when to show your cards and when not to. It's a poker game, and
It's true. It's very
that's how it
true.
is in life, though. That's YouTube, music, whatever you're doing. Unfortunately, it's a poker game.
I agree, and it can be kind of rough at times, especially when you're a very caring person. But it's the nature of the beast, I guess. Is there anything that you would want to share that with your subscribers and with everybody watching pertaining to you and YouTube, or just you in general?
I don't know. Like, it's kind of a broad question.
It is a broad question, but I mean, I just wanted to know if you had anything in mind that you felt that you wanted to convey at the end of me asking all of these questions.
I would say, I guess, what I want people to know from the Swamp Dweller is that this is not a solo effort. This is very much a teamwork effort. This is a community collaborative effort. I would not be here, like I said in the beginning, I would not be here without Margbot. I would not be here without Celestial Nore. I wouldn't be here without any of you guys. I probably would have stopped a long, long time ago if it wasn't for, Celeste and Margbot at the beginning. So honestly, the thing I really want to convey is that give everybody a chance. I try to do that with everybody. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that every small channel or everybody who hits me up I collab with. I've turned down channels that have 200K subs that wanted to collab with me. I mean, like me collabs. I do them for a different reason. I don't do them to grow. I do them because I like working with those people, and I like to, if I can get a few more people to check out somebody like the Gothic Librarian or something like that, then there we go. That's more than enough to me. That's what I do it for. And if I have, I have the opportunity to, put more eyes on somebody that I think deserves it, then that's what I want to do. Because this is a community at the end of the day. Community. I want the community to rise together. Like if I jump up to 100K subs in a day, obviously I want to be able to spread that to Lord of Terror or Celestial Nore or something like that. Like I want to be able to bring my friends up too. I want everybody to do successful and be able to do what they love to do. Just community.
That's such a such a good philosophy to have, is that you want to take others with you, and there's quite a few narrators who feel that way, and it's great. That's the positive side of all of this, that there's very caring people involved who don't mind helping others, who are willing to put in the effort into their channels. So that's a great message to convey. So thank you for that. Let's see. Are there any questions for Swamp Guys? Let's take a look. Dark Voices loves you, apparently.
Yeah, Dark Voices is my biggest fan. He's been following me since day one. No, Dark Voices is a good guy. I very much enjoy him. Very cool guy.
That he is. He is a very cool guy, and one of the people I shouted out. But I don't think he was here. Oh, Lord Terror wants you to know you're a Don.
I'm a Don? What does that mean? Like I'm a boss or something?
Yeah, like a Don, like in the mafia. Let's see. Do you play any video games, Swamp Dweller?
Yeah. Not like a lot. I've never been a gamer really, but I play pretty much exclusively MOBAs, which games such as League of Legends, Dota 2, and Paragon. But I don't really do anything outside of like those kind of teamwork games. Like I said, like I'm all about teamwork, man. I love teamwork. So I don't know. I just it's lonely at the top, man. So you gotta have friends with you. But I don't know. I would say that those are the only games I play, really. Sometimes other games, but not enough to say one by name.
Gotcha. I used to play LOL. I remember those days. That was awful. Well, guys, that concludes our interview portion of the stream. Thank you guys for sticking by while we waited for Swamp, who did not mean to be late. It was his awful internet, so please don't hate on Swamp. And yeah, well, thank you, Swamp, for granting me the second interview. I still learned other things from you that I didn't know before, which is funny because I've known you for a while now. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Like I said, anytime you want me to do anything, like I said, I'm always down to help out if I can. Everybody should definitely check out Margbot. I will probably do something on my channel to send people to the video. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Thanks, Swamp.
figure
I
it out.
appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Guys
I'll
who
probably
are... Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I said I'll probably just mention in one of my intros or a video or something and put a link to it so people can check it out.
Sounds good. Thank you for that.